Greetings, adventurers. Hope y'all are well today. I myself am doing pretty good, aside from the fact that over here in East Texas, it is insanely hot. I could probably cook an egg out there on the sand right now, so there's that. But, other than that, we're doing really good. I'm here with y'all, be able to showcase the new maids list that I've been playing with that I absolutely love. This thing is amazing. My favorite version of it, and best version of it, I'm fairly certain. I'm gonna move the mic really quick, so you're gonna hear that maybe. Anyway, let's get right into this. Maids, as y'all seen, is the main thing that I like to play the most. I do have a Cyber Dragon list that I haven't played with a ton, but I could possibly, you know, make a video on that if y'all like to see that. And if that's the case, do comment that specifically, because if so, I'll upload that next week. Or figure something else out if not. But we are looking for other things to play, maybe like Marincess, Exo Sister, maybe even Dinomorphy. I'm not entirely sure yet. We have a lot of options. I am waiting for Splight to come out, though, with Power of the Elements, so that we can play Tearlaments, because that will be something we play, and I will absolutely make a list on that when it drops. Alright? So, without further ado, let's just get into this 3-chamber. Obviously, you know, we search our spell or traps, add them to hand, and then our 3 parlor. That way we can, you know, dump whatever Dragonmaid card we need to into the graveyard. If we open up with either of them, it's a 1-card sphere, so let's go into it, we're good. If we have other cards in hand, it just makes things pop off even better, and gives us so many options to facilitate plays. To go along with these, we have, for another baby maid, Nurse. We're only playing the 1 of, obviously. I usually always see people just running the 1, and it makes sense, because, you know, you don't really want to see her in your opener, because when you do, it kind of just hurts a lot. It really stops you from making any of the crazy plays that you really like, and anything big, because she doesn't do anything. She just does nothing. So, we run 1 to mitigate as much of that as we can, and then when we do get her, then she's really impactful. Apologies for that glare. I have a big box light above me, so it's going to be a little bit glaring on that side. And then, we are running 2, let me just move them all over here, they can be neighbors. 2 of the big dragon forms in the form of Ernest for, you know, those special summons from hand of a little dragon. And then we also got Lorpar for baby impermanence, basically. So, I like these ratios of things. We're not running Tinkek or Kitchen anymore, just because they don't do enough to justify. Only thing Tinkek has that makes me sometimes want to play her is the fact that that 2k, you know, attack boost can really help us swing over a lot of things that we might struggle with sometimes. So, it can be good, and it's something I've debated on playing again. But until I see a, you know, a real value where that comes in, we're keeping it as this. Then for this Dragonmaid spell and traps, we're running 2 changeover. Reason being, I used to run 1, but 2 now seems almost mandatory with how much, like, graveyard hate that we see with stuff like DD Crow and all. And we really can't afford to lose 1. So, having the 2 is just, it's almost mandatory now, I feel like. Because we lose it, we're done. We're out of the game. Not a whole lot we can do without, unless we, you know, maybe go into Super Polys for our Shios, which is not a good choice. Then we're running triple Hospitality. Probably the first card that I think I'd cut down by 1 down to 2. It's really good, though. Helps us, you know, pitch something into the graveyard, as well as special summon a Dragonmaid from hand or graveyard. So really helps us also get plays going. And then Tidying, which is just so powerful. I'll move it over here so y'all can see it, now that y'all saw that. Tidying, because it's just too strong. The ability to bounce, get something back to hand, and then also banish from graveyard so that we can bring out a Dragonmaid. Really good. And really, which one of these you grab, you send this basically off of Parlor if you open Parlor. You add Hospitality off of Chamber if you open Chamber. Unless you already, you know, have that, then you can, you know, go into a Tidying as well. Helps you set up for a lot more, and it's really, really devastating when you can do that. There's a lot of ways, though, you can go about that. You can even, if you have a goated hand, you have some absolutely sick plays that you can make. But, let's move on to the rest of this deck here. like I said, I absolutely love this deck. It's so fun. It gives me really good results as I'm still figuring out the game a little bit. And let's just show off the piece of this deck that really helps make this deck as consistent as it is now. Triple Small World. This card is just so insane. Being able to be literally whatever card you want it to be is cracked. Like, I don't even know how to put it. It's just so good. Absolutely worth running. The only thing I'd replace this with at all would be like a Prosperity, and hard for me to want to do so just because how much I like my extra deck and how useful it is, you know, with how much we're running of you know, super polys and such, which you will see. But yeah, being able to beat whatever card you want, like, it's too good. Like, it just goes into everything. Hand traps are never dead. We have options to go with for them. It's just so good. So yeah, there's just, I cannot say enough about that card. It was a great choice. Onto our Red Eyes package. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Bring 2 of that and 1 of him. Being able to get out whatever we want from grave or hand, you know, after we bring him out. If we're really down bad and say we just opened him, good old black metal, we can link him off, get the effect to search for, you know, Red Eyes here, and then banish that, like our Pisty, which is what we'll usually be making. And always be making, actually, off of a link 1. And then, you know, special summon him, and then use him to special summon back black metal, and we can go into a Spheres. Not a, like, amazing play that we want to make, but it's a play we have the option to make if need be, which having the ability to do something is better than, you know, being stuck without an option. So I'll take it. It's worth the split base just to have another option to go into Spheres. Then we're running a single Tempest. We have enough wind targets and, you know, obviously dragons to be able to make Tempest super playable, and it just does a lot. There's plenty of times where Tempest has come up and given me the ability to go for game, and that when I wouldn't have had the option otherwise, and it's put me in positions where my opponents really need to make a decision about what they're going to do, if they're going to, like, have a shot at winning, honestly, or surviving the turn. An example of it was, I super polyed an opponent of mine who was running some kind of Dragonity, based, like, Dragon Link deck, and it was super, when I mean Dragonity, I mean, like, super heavy into the Dragonity line of stuff, though, so, aside from the regular stuff that they do run, and was able to, you know, Albaz away one of his big boy synchro things, and then, you know, also able to bring out Tempest, and, you know, snagged him in a really awkward spot where he was, you know, he had Spheres on board where otherwise it wouldn't have mattered. He would have just bounced away Mirror Jade, and it wouldn't have done anything. Then it became, you know, okay, get rid of it. Like, there's no good position, really. He takes 600 less damage, was basically the position that put him in. And he didn't get his board blew up, but he only had one thing anyway, so it would not have mattered. So that's enough of Tempest. It was something that I had in the deck for a little bit. Never really came up enough until recently. It started to show up a lot more, and so I kind of started to really like the option, especially since we have all the wind stuff with also, like, our Drolls that we have here as well, and then the Parlors and War Bars. 2 Noctovision. Noctovision's so good, being able to special summon off of a Dark Dragon being special summoned, therefore making it, you know, we can then go into a link for our Spheres plays, obviously, and then get a draw off of that. So that's pretty good. It's also, if need be, we can fusion summon into, use it as the big boy dragon if we have a Dragonmaid in hand or on field to go into our YuGiOh. And then it's also a 2800 booty, so pretty nice. What more could you ask for, you know? A better card maybe, but oh well. I like him. He's good. He does his job. For our hand traps, we're running a single Veiler. That's for just the fact that it's a helpful little bridge into stuff, since the only thing that it shares with any of our maids is, like, honestly nothing. It's, I was thinking of, my bad there, I was thinking of, our Ghost. The only thing it was sharing with any of them was be, like, you know, Nurse for Earth, 1800 for Chamber, and level 3 for, Parlor. Veiler we just have in here because it's just a worse perm for us, which, you know, we like. We like to run Imperm here. It helps out a ton. We're not running Ash, because I don't own Ashes. The ones in the previous one I was just borrowing to test out for something. And I really do like having Ghost Bell in here more, just because of the fact that it's a bridge, and at my locals, it comes up a lot more often for me to use that and get value off of it, where it's like, okay, because we do have a lot of decks that more so will just special summon from deck, and it doesn't, and I'm like, okay, not adding, it's fine, you know, I can deal with all that stuff. Droll anyway will stop most searches anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. And then Imperm, if it's a monster effect on field to do it, then we can Imperm or Veiler. So, building it a little bit so we don't have to worry about having Ash, and I like having the bridge here. They all do something except for Veiler and obviously Imperm since it's a trap, but it's fun. They're good. I like them. Our hand traps, sweet, could be a little stronger, but it's working out really well for us, so I like it. Then next, for a little bit of like a sort of removal, Fallen of Albaz is a, you know, a 4th super poly and just does so much. Called by the Grave, because obviously Duster, and then triple super poly. Absolutely, like, just, it's so good. It really just destroys boards, tears them apart, sets us up for, you know, game-winning positions. And I mean, what more, like, how could you not want that, right? So, that's those. Nothing needs to be said about any of this at all, because, you know what it does, you know how good it is, especially in the current state of the game. So, let's get on to the extra deck. And what we're running is double YuGiOh, double house. I kind of want to run a 3rd house just in case we don't have the ability to negate off of a, you know, YuGiOh for whatever reason after we bounce it back, say, off this one. Not having another one in there kind of could hurt. Though, I never run into that position. If I'm already at that position where I've used 2 YuGiOh negates, I'm generally winning, like, more often than not. So it's never really been a painful thing for us. We get that special summon, we get that Omni negate, and then special summon of this. That's super good. And then also the destruction of when something returns, as well as the standby phase special summons of 1 higher or lower off of Dragonmaids. Really good. It's so nice. Helps us continue our momentum a little bit. So it's hard to, it's hard not to like it. And then here is going to be just our massive, like, super poly, number of super poly targets. We got Dragostapelia, obvious. It's just any fusion deck this just does so well against. Even in this case, we can also just make a good value out of it in our own, like, for ourselves, since we run so many fusions. But it just helps, like, against Despia and such like that. It's great. It's just so good. Diplexer Chimera, this comes up at, it's just always live when you're going up against Marincess or Salamangreat. So it's just, it's so nice to just go see, oh, that's a nice Argonaut, you know, that you have with all those negates and then whatever else there is. Mine, delicious. Or, you know, night Salamangreat and you have access code on the board and then some other garbage. Mine, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, it's fun. I love it. It does some nasty things like that. Muddragon's the one that's, you know, the next one that's kind of oftentimes dead. These two pretty dead oftentimes, but like just having them there is a good choice for us. I like it. This comes up enough for me in like Sword Soul and Virtual World matchups to where I'm like, I'm okay with it. It also sometimes like is a fairly viable thing in Flunder matchups, just like, Flow, because of our wind and the number of wind targets we have in here. So I like it. It definitely, you know, it's earned its place in here for sure. Helps us. One of the few things that can really help us in there that we have main decked at least and extra deck. But Starving Venom, just a really good card, able to be a board wipe too if it gets destroyed. 2 dark targets, so, you know, really good against so many decks. Enough said about it. Furious, and then Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade's in here for Albaz, strictly so that when we use our, if they have some kind of, like, you know, extra deck monster that's kind of hard for us to deal with, and we don't have a way of really super polying into anything worthwhile, we have it. So, this is, like I said, in the thing, I had the Tempest and Mirror Jade. That was an example of when it came up and it was super valuable to us, and it won us the match as well. 2-0'd on that one. It was great. And then Furious is just good, able to be like a destruction thing, and then also, if whatever case we could bring back something if I was running more like Dark Link dragons, but we're not doing enough to where that ever matters. So, though it is a good effect, I guess. Also being a 3K booty like that, not booty, but like beefy man there. I love it. It really comes up. When it comes up, I mean, it really pays off. So it's earned its place. Really, out of everything in that, like the super poly targets, Dragonmaid and Starving Venom are just so good. And then Mirror Jade's just MVP of that, just able to get rid of whatever with an Albaz. So I love it. So strong. Let's get on to the links though. We're running a Oral Sword as our budget access code because I do not have one. Unicorn, so we can spin something away. Double Spheres. Unicorn I'd probably swap out with like a Dark, honestly, if I had one. But I don't. So whatever. And then, yeah, our 2 Spheres, because obvious, it's Dragonmaid, it's a Dragon deck, you know why. And then we got the 1 Pisty, just as that Link 1 to help, start our plays. And nothing else to really be said about that. This stuff's all pretty self-explanatory, I hope. The rest of this deck, though, I mean, like, the side deck, it's nothing fancy. I'll show it off real quickly. Not gonna explain any of it all that much. Triple D Barrier, double DD Crow, triple Twister, double Raigeki, triple DRNM because I don't have droplets, and then Token Collector, double. So, it's good, it works for me really well. Everything in there is just broad enough of choices that I'm not really anything too niche. The only thing I could see adding in there would be, what's it called? Lancia. But aside from that, not a whole lot of changes I'd personally be making, aside from swapping Dark Ruler with a droplet. And in that case, I'd probably just mainboard that, to be honest. But, yeah, that is the Dragonmaid's list for July. I'm hoping y'all enjoyed that, because I absolutely love playing this deck and showing it off. It is definitely my favorite thing that I've played. I do hope that Tearlaments gives me the same kind of joy that this does when that drops, because I'm absolutely going all over that. But, yeah, if y'all do like it, maybe hit that like button, maybe even subscribe. That'd be pretty cool. You know what would be? You want to, you'd see more from me as well. Maybe even join the Discord. I have the link in the description as well, so y'all can, tell me random garbage that y'all think, and or things that want me to play. And once again, also, if y'all want to see me talk about the Cyber Dragon deck that I also have, let me know. I'll do it. It gives me options to do things. So, without further ado, though, adventurers, farewell!
11, 10, 9, 7, 5, 3, sound 1, start.